I'm so annoyed. So I was just filming this. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. I am so excited to have you. So in today's video, I am doing the tag, which you probably did see in the description, in the title. Hello, I can't talk. So this is created by Cam, or Clove Room, here on YouTube, and Colin Queer Bones here on YouTube. They are both amazing creators. Definitely check out both of them. I will have them linked down below. They are just amazing. Colin Queer Bones tends to be very analytical with everything that they talk about, all their makeup, all of that stuff. And then Cam Clover makes very informative videos and really good videos for trying to get yourself not to shop. Honestly, and that's something that I've really enjoyed watching their content for. Definitely check them out, and if either of them are here, which is gonna feel really weird if you are, but welcome. I hope that you like my little video here, and yeah, okay, let's go ahead and start on in with the tag. Just to start off, the Gender Euphoria Beauty Tag is for trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming creators to share thoughts on how makeup intersects with and informs their gender identities. Starting off, introduce yourself. So hi, my name is Mattie. My actual name, possibly in the future, will be Madison. Quick little story with that of how I kind of came up with that name, or why I really felt that it suited with me. If you have ever seen the movie What Lies Beneath, it is like an older movie now from the 2000s. There was a scene where a girl had passed away and her gravestone said the name Madison. Ever since then, I know it sounds kind of odd, but that name has really resonated with me. So yes, I mainly currently right now go by Mattie, but Madison is the technical chosen name, and then I do identify as trans femme, trans female. What role has makeup played in your makeup journey? This one is kind of hard for me because even before I identified as trans, I have been wearing makeup for like a very long time, since junior year of high school. I don't know if I would say it really is something that's like, oh, really makes me feel my best. It is something that really has always just made me feel like me. What was the first time you applied makeup and experienced gender euphoria? How I first started with makeup, and it wasn't necessarily even makeup, so if anybody remembers Proactive or is familiar, I'm 34 for anybody curious, so that might make more sense for the age, but they did have a special product that was actually, I think, like a spot treatment, but I noticed that if I applied it to my skin, it was like a creamy color. It almost gave me a bit of coverage. I did use that a little bit. I also had a little contact case with a little cotton ball in one side and a little bit of baby powder on the other side, and that was my first kind of like glam moment. Not really glam, but it was something that really connected me to makeup. And then when I first experienced gender euphoria, I feel like that's like a hard question. I don't even fully know. I feel like probably maybe around the first time that I started playing with it, within the past few years, I'm really just feeling more comfortable within my transness, that putting on my makeup has really just felt right. Not that obviously makeup is not assigned to any gender, and it shouldn't be, but it really is something that when I put it on, I'm like, yes, I feel like I'm stepping into what I like. And to be honest, I don't feel like I do anything for my makeup that is necessarily feminizing to my face. I know that there are things out there, and I mean, there may be things that I don't even realize that I do, that technically drawing my eyebrows on higher is technically in our society considered to be feminizing. So there probably are things, but I don't think I'm fully doing them on purpose. But I think it's just, yeah, it's just something that makes me feel, again, most like myself. How has your makeup style aesthetic changed over time? I wouldn't say that my aesthetic has changed over time in like a massive way. I think it's just definitely improved, and I've also learned a lot more. When I was first getting into makeup, I just wore foundation mainly, and I wore a lot of foundation. I really loved the idea of like full coverage. I was so uneducated. Oh my lord, the amount of face powder I would put on my face. I thought translucent powder went over the top of a regular pressed powder, so your girl was probably cakey as heck. I may have worn mascara. I was very inexperienced with makeup back then. Gone through many a phase of makeup, so definitely say that has definitely changed. Went through if anybody has ever heard of I think it's called a shimmer brick. I don't know if that's the correct term. That might be a Bobbi Brown term, but why can't I think of them right now? They have that bronzer that everybody loves. It's like drugstore. It's like prescription or something. I can't really remember it. Physician's Formula. Haha, just remembered it. It was all like these golden-y shades, and I one time went on a live taping show with my mom. It was for the Bonnie Hunt show, if anybody has ever even heard of that. It's not on the air anymore. But the camera panned over the audience and I watched it on TV, and I just had a gorgeous, not gorgeous, gold stripe on my cheek. It looked so bad. Definitely say that as in terms of things that I like from makeup though, nothing has fully changed. I think I just came into my own more, and I came in more comfortably with the things that I know that I like. Is there any particular product or step in your routine that you find gives you euphoria, or is it the whole process? I guess it's the whole process, but I'll be honest, what I'll more say is the main things that make me feel most like myself, eyeshadow and lips are definitely my absolute favorite. I kind of love the whole process now. I'm really getting into select contouring and doing blush and all of that. I'm still not fully perfected. I have a way to go with that journey, but eyeshadow and lipstick are two definite things that really make me feel most like myself, and I guess in turn, euphoric? I don't know. On a random note real quick, I think when I identified, I guess still as male, whatever, I don't know if I ever fully identified in that way, if I'm completely honest. I think that I knew what society told me I was, but I don't know if I ever really believed it. I knew I always just felt that I was more part of the other side than the side that society said that I was on. Is in terms of euphoria, I guess it might be the whole process of everything that makes me feel the most like myself, the most feminine or whatever. Again, that term is very up in the air. I think that I really try to do my makeup in a way that I like, and I think that everybody should do their makeup in a way that they like. Of course, do whatever you want, and I'm very open into if you think that there are certain things that are feminizing, or even, if you're trans on the other end of masculizing, is that a word? Being more masculine. There are definitely techniques out there that I think are actually awesome, and I think that you should do whatever makes you feel the most comfortable within yourself, as I do for myself. I think I just don't put a term on it, I guess. I've never necessarily done that, but if you were to say you can't do this anymore, that would definitely make me feel dysphoric, probably. So I guess I would say as the whole process. Has applying makeup or consuming beauty content ever made you feel dysphoric? So, to be honest, not really. The one thing that did pop into my head, and I really am so glad of the different creators out there. Unfortunately, I don't know if one of them is still making content, but there was a time where it was very popular for cis women to shave their face. And I do still think that is something that cis women do. Some women do, whatever, anybody shaves her face. And she used one of those like flat razors that people tend to use for their eyebrows. And she was like, yeah, only women can use these. This is like a shaving routine for women, not for men. And it was definitely said in a way that she didn't say anything necessarily, but I feel like through the context of the way that she was saying it, it felt like it was very, if your face grows hair that's not peach fuzz, basically, that you're not within the group that I'm referring to. It's kind of how it felt. And vintage or tacky, if I'm remembering correctly, that was not the bad person. Vintage or tacky, literally like a week later or whatever, came out with a video, legit shaving cream and an actual razor shaving her face. And I absolutely love that woman. I don't know if she makes content anymore, which is kind of sad. I think Cora is her name. I haven't really seen content from her. Hopefully she still does. I should definitely check her out because I really loved her for that, especially in a time period where it really wasn't talked about that much. I don't feel like in the community. It was still very woman in a way. And things were very traditional of this is how you do makeup and, blah, 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 blah. And women do it this way and men have to do it this way and and she was somebody who I was really attracted to as in just fun, even the name Vintage or Tacky. I loved that her channel was just very fun. It was very inviting, very warm, and it was something that myself as a queer person, I felt safe, versus this other person who I was like, oh, here's this feminine woman that I will never be like because she's basically saying you don't belong in my club. Especially with something as makeup. Makeup belongs to everybody. It's not a gender thing. It really should not be a gender thing. Historically, it's not a gender thing. I really hate the gatekeeping that some people do. I think it's so dumb, honestly, and very disturbing. Just not right. That is the only thing I could really think of that has been dysphoric. If I could tell young me now, just keep trying, just keep playing, you'll figure it out. And I think also it's knowing different face shapes, because I'll be honest with you, the amount of face shapes, I have seen face shapes that are more masculine than mine. I always felt this dysphoria of like, oh, my brow bone protrudes out, I'm just this, freaking man. It made me feel some type of way, and obviously that's not true. Anybody watching, I would definitely say, keep playing, keep trying, you'll figure things out. We are in the time of day where everybody's wearing makeup. Maybe not everybody, but a lot more people are wearing makeup, and there's a lot more techniques out there that are really helpful. Ooh, I love this next question. Where do you find inspiration? I think other beauty creators, artists, celebrities, movies, music, nature, etc. I feel like most of my makeup inspiration has for sure come from YouTube. I think people like Queen of Blending. I know she's really active on Instagram more. I don't think she does YouTube much anymore. Even the brand like Sugar Pill. I can't think of one creator. I wish I could remember their name, but I can't. But they used to also do Sugar Pill videos a lot, and they were just very creative. They were more like in that goth subculture, but just things like that have always been very inspirational to me. I think, of course, the makeup artists like Lisa Eldridge, the Pixie Woo sisters. Who else? Gosh, I feel like there's been so many creators over the time. One that I've not seen create a long time, Mitch T. Max. I don't even know if anybody's ever heard of this person. They used to do glitter lip tutorials and like lipstick tutorials. They really got me into wearing black lipstick. That was something that I remember they used to buy a black lipstick from Etsy, and it was like in a lip balm tube, because black lipstick just wasn't a thing then. But I think that for like lip art, definitely, like if you ever have scrolled through my Instagram and see glitter lips, that definitely came from them. Colorful eyeshadow, honestly, I really don't know. I think that there have been the trends, of course, in 2016 to 2017, where a lot of people are doing colorful, cut creases, all of that. Really, ever since the beginning of YouTube, people have just really been creative with their eyeshadow, different eyeshadow techniques. I know that there's been a lot of content creators out there who did really colorful makeup. That really is what gave me the encouragement through their videos, watching their stuff and knowing that, well, they're walking around in the real world with this makeup. I can too. I wish I could say like a definitive inspiration, because anybody creative doing makeup really is inspiring to me and makes you want to try different things. Do you have any goals or plans outside of makeup to help you find/feel gender euphoria? I think my biggest one, which is to do a hair routine and trying to grow out my hair. Unfortunately, I do have a little bit of like hair loss, hair thinnage. My hair is longer, it's just shorter in other areas, and I just really don't like that. Definitely clothing would be a really big one, especially I really do hope one day to be out of the current work situation that I am, so I can wear a lot more. I wear a lot of pants there, which makes sense. Pants are very comfortable, but I really would like to wear a lot more like dresses, skirts, things like that. The reason I don't have a lot is because I don't really feel like I have many places to wear them, so I don't want to, at least in that respect. But that is something, it's always been a silhouette that I've always just really liked, like a really like floor-length dress. I've always just thought looks really elegant and pretty, so that is definitely something that I would like to do more with my euphoria. OMG, I can't believe we are already on the last question. This has actually been such a fun tag. Real quick, random, anybody who wants to do this tag who falls within that trans umbrella, I encourage you to. This is absolutely fun. I want to do actually more tags just in general, but this is such a fun tag. So last question is, what is a tip for trans enby folks just getting into makeup? And honestly, I think my thing, I'll be honest, is going to work for everybody. I do feel, because I really just feel like you just have to not give a crap, if I'm honest. I really just feel like it's like just do what you want and just try things out and try a little bit out. And my biggest tip I would definitely give to people who want to wear more stronger makeup, so this could be anybody, is just do it. Just do it. I used to never wear red lipstick. I used to be terrified to wear red lipstick. I would wear it and I felt like it would look weird on my face. And honestly, one day I just started doing it. I just forced myself to do it, got through the day, And before I knew it, I liked it a lot more. My definite tips for trans people and NB people is I feel like just don't care what anybody says. Do not, in my opinion again, do not follow what anybody says. If anybody is saying, oh, for this, you need to do this, you know, do it if you want to. Honestly, do it if you want to. If you see somebody's face and you're like, okay, my face is similar to that, but let's say they look more feminine or they look more masculine, you're like, how do I achieve that? Yes, if there's a video that is like step by step, this is how you do it, then absolutely, because that is your choice and that is something that you like. But if somebody is like, to be feminine, you need to curve your cheeks like this, you know what, I'll be honest, why a lot of women, especially in Hollywood right now, are really into that whole buckle fat thing, you know, very, we might call pseudo-masculine, you know, the sunken in cheeks and whatever, which is a look that I also like. And I really hate the identifying of things of masculine versus feminine. I get it, it's society, it's what society does, but yeah, just do whatever you want. I'll be honest, is my biggest takeaway. Find something you think you like. The people that you find beautiful, try to see what you might think that they might do on their own face and try to emulate that. Adjust it for your own face. It's gonna take a lot of practice. It's taken me a long time to really figure out things I like for my face, but I feel like over time you will find things that you really like and you really just have to keep trying. That's the biggest thing, is just try. If you need to take a break, take the break, but just try a little bit. Each day, maybe not even each day, each week, you know, it's at your own level of how fast or not fast you want to go into it. If you want to try mascara, you know, I remember I first started with a clear mascara from e.l.f., something really affordable, and, you know, a little mascara through the lashes, and it really just, it just adds a little, like, I feel pretty, or whatever, you know, whatever you feel like is going to help you, especially in a way that's, it's something extra for you, but it's maybe, you know, if you're not fully ready to tell society yet, which absolutely your decision, it's still a way to do something nice for yourself. You know, it's kind of like putting a clear coat on your nails. You know, it's like, oh, my nails look shiny, you know what I mean? And it's something just for you, and it makes you, like, for me, when I have my nails painted, I just feel fancy. I just feel, you know, cool. So, yeah, okay. I have been gabbing so freaking long. I really do hope that you all did enjoy this video. Everybody who's watching it, if you are still here, Colin and Cam, amazing job for making this tag. I am so excited that you both did, and just happy to be able to put in a little bit into the community. That is it for me. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you all later. Okay, bye.